Hey y'all!
Martha wants you to enjoy 3 of her best 30-minute meals.
Yeah, we need to get the cord plugged in there.
Right there.
Enjoy eating dinner again. To be part of Martha's at-home taste test,
Oh, look, we're
get you
live.
3 free meals. Be one of the first 100 people to text FEED to 246-810. That's FEED
Yeah, there's the
to
cord on your end.
246-810. FEED to 246-810.
There's some good environmental news out of Mexico. The population of monarch butterflies spending the winter in central Mexico is up nearly 150% over last year. Officials quickly warn, however, this does not mean the migrating butterflies are out of danger, and there's no guarantee the recent decline of the butterfly population
The fact
will
that these
not
little
resume.
frail
But
butterflies
this is
can fly
positive
1,000
news.
miles
By
or
the way,
more.
how do the experts count butterflies?
They crawl there as
Measuring
caterpillars,
how much
Charlie.
surface area they cover when they land.
Across the
This
border.
year it was
Yeah.
14.95 acres.
Looking for
Pond and
tequila
fur
that they can jump in the bottle.
6.12 acres a year ago.
They're gonna throw in yours.
Kevin Patriots and Los Angeles Rams play later
is
today
that?
in Super
Mardi
Bowl
Gras beads they're gonna throw in
53.
New Orleans.
It's
Penalty
the
flag.
third straight year for the Patriots.
That's perfect.
Playing for their 6th Super Bowl win.
You need to comment on
I'm
that.
Christopher Cruz.
Super fraud is today. I will not be watching.
Nah, I don't even want to talk about it.
Guys, the secret is out. If you want
Stu, any guess?
intimacy, your body needs
I sent you an
nitric
email with
oxide.
some
And now
audio,
you can boost your nitric
late
oxide
Tuesday. It's
production
not a big
faster
deal.
than you thought
Okay.
possible.
It's
With
just two
Ageless
different,
Male Tonight, the absurdly
montages
fast
of
formula
interviews
from
I did
the
at World
#1
Food
brand in
Championship.
male enhancement. Just
Okay.
take one capsule an hour before romantic activity. You'll get clinically
We can play
tested
one of those
ingredients
if you
that
want
rapidly
during the
boost
break,
nitric
during the
oxide
third
production,
segment.
and it won't go
Okay.
unnoticed. Ageless Male Tonight has already taken Walmart by
Is
storm.
it like an
But you can
interview,
try
or is it
5
just
doses
somebody
Yeah,
on
of
the line?
$5
Yeah, it's,
by calling
3
now.
small
No
interviews
questionnaires,
spliced
no
together.
online tests, and no shipping fees.
It's
Just
2
call
different files that have that, so we can play one
What day was
1-800-462-5663.
Tuesday?
After a long back order, Ageless Male Tonight is finally
What is
back
today?
in stock. To get 5
I don't
doses for
even
just
know.
Today is
$5,
February
call
3rd.
1-800-462-5063.
So it would have been like
Yeah.
January
If results are too
28th.
intense, please decrease use.
All right, Friday was the
1-800-462-5063.
Thursday was the 31st. Wednesday,
1-800-462-5063.
28th or
FM
29th.
Talk 1065.
That'll help
The
me
Gulf
find
Coast
it.
Weather
I get so
Authority
damn much
and Dr.
email.
Bill Williams.
The Gulf Coast can expect mostly cloudy skies today with a few showers. Highs will be in the upper 60s. Tonight, a few showers.
Probably ought to
lows
get
in the
you to start sending it to me on the
Monday,
station.
mostly cloudy.
Okay.
A few
Charlie
showers
at
and highs around 70 degrees.
FMRadio.com.
As a meteorologist,
Because I get a
Dr.
lot less mail there.
1065.
And that's
FM
programming
Talk
specific.
1065.
All right.
The Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
Bob's Downtown Diner, 263 St. Francis,
been
a
there?
block north of Cathedral
Bob's
Square,
Downtown
offers good old-fashioned
There he is.
Americana
It's
food made
good.
from
Margaret and I made it down
If
there
it's a
this
burger
week.
you want for lunch,
Me and-
try
me
the
and Bob
Money
are
Burger,
police
ground
officers.
chuck on Kaiser bun with lettuce,
Right,
tomato,
Bob.
and pickle on the top with smoked eggs,
Bob was
Caribbean
the-
seasoning,
Yeah.
brie cheese, pineapple,
Literally,
pico
Bob's
de
is
gallo,
on.
burgers, sandwiches, and seafood for lunch. Complete menu online
Yeah,
on corner of
Wusthof
Fat and
named it
Happy.com.
Kills. Last name is
Bob's
Tudor with the
Downtown
shop
Diner,
here.
open 7 to
Sure.
3 every day. You're gonna love it.
Here we go.
Here we are.
Whether
All
you're
right.
in search of
Oh
a
my
great new
God.
bottle of
I'm getting
wine,
famous.
or you want a rundown of the best brush spots in the area, Mike and Stu have the answer. With a combined half-century in the industry, they bring their wealth of experience to bring you the latest trends, expert opinions, and interviews with people who know. They are the dynamic duo of dining.
It's a wine and food show, Stu. It's a food and wine show, trust me. Look right here, it's Sip and Chew. It's wine and food. Because chew rhymes with stew. That's the only reason.
Don't forget, we're gonna go out with Don McLean.
Killer.
Now it's time to Sip and Chew with Mike and
Mics
Stu.
are hot. That's how we can tell you're in the studio.
Are you gonna say anything, Mike?
I'm waiting for the music to fade out.
Well, it fades when you start talking.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah.
You'd think nearly 6 years I'd have this down by now.
Well, it's early in the morning.
Well, good morning, gentlemen and folks out there in Radio Land, and thank you to and hello to
Hi.
our sponsors, Bob's Diner out there, and who makes
Charlie,
this show possible.
Charlie said he made it down this week.
Yeah, Charlie, you
We
gonna
had
give us a report?
We had a great lunch, and I enjoyed meeting Tony and Hannah and the young man that works the kitchen back there behind him,
Jeremy.
Jeremy, and good food. And
You know, we have a name. We call him. His nickname is Ducky.
Ducky.
Ducky. Yeah, we call him Ducky. Jeremy, his name is Ducky.
Okay.
That's what we call
Is
it.
there
Wear
a
a
reason
little-
for that?
Does he wear a hat? and
I just go with the flow, Charlie.
Okay.
That's when I was introduced to him. I was introduced to him as Ducky, and I've been calling him that.
When
and
the
Jeremy.
police shows up, he dumps
and,
out? Is
and,
that
and
it?
some other names I've called him too.
Oh, look out now.
But he's a mighty fine cook.
Hey, if you're in town
Chef.
this morning and you wanna know where the locals eat, Bob's Diner is one of those places, and they got brunch on Sunday.
And Saturdays.
Yeah, slinging the juice.
Bottomless mimosas.
I've been going in there and I've been having to get virgin mimosas because would that'd just be plain orange juice.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
leaving your past
But every
behind.
time I order, I say orange juice, and they start to pull the bottle out. I said, no, I can't have any of that. I'm working today, or
Virgin
still
orange
working,
juice.
Working out,
still working.
getting buff. Beefcake.
I don't think he's there yet, Steve.
No,
He's looking fit and trim.
I'm not a beefcake. I'm just I don't know what I am.
Teddy bear.
But hey, I was watching Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives last night,
Hey, that's a good show.
and saw Stretch.
Stretch Ruminar.
Yeah.
That guy
Funny
is.
guy. Funny
And
guy.
multi-talented. He's a heck
He's
of
an
a
artist.
sculptor. Yeah.
I did not know that about
Yeah,
him.
he actually makes the trophies for one of the major barbecue cook-offs.
Mhm.
Something in Kansas City, naturally, because that's where his restaurants are
Right?
in the Kansas City area. But he actually sculpts them
Yeah.
with blowtorch and stainless steel.
Grinders and
Yeah.
I was just blown up. Luann and I was sitting there watching it. We got back from Montgomery. We didn't feel like doing anything. Just
And
hanging
he
around.
pronounced it right, folks. Montgomery, the T is silent.
Yeah. It was her mother's 96 years old. Her mother's sister turned 100, and then her mother's their baby brother was there, and from Houston he was 93. So you had a 93-year-old, a 96-year-old, and a 100-year-old person there.
Plus, you're what, 107?
Whatever. You better watch out, boy. I ain't far behind him.
Could you outrun all those?
I don't know. The brother still drives.
Yeah.
And smart. I mean, he just. But Luann's mother's quick with wit. I mean, she just throws a Mac at you. That's how I want to be.
I bet she has a field day when you're there.
Oh, we have a good time.
I bet.
They say they say kids say the funniest things. Older senior citizens say the funniest things.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is.
Oh, what?
We don't have to be PC.
Yeah.
My best friend for years is like, I wish someone would tell me what the exact age is where you can say anything you want, and instead of saying, oh, he's racist or sexist or bigoted, people just go, he's old.
Or they just
He
get
said, because
this-
that's the age he wants to be.
or they get this knowing look that they share, like, hey, we can overlook him.
But we had a good time. We came back home and ate some big time diner. Big time diner.
Great
Got some
place.
big time diner to go.
Big dime tiner, huh?
Mhm. I got
Big
the
dime
chili.
diner.
I got the chili, the Philly cheese on rice instead of bread. I'm
Yeah.
trying to cut my bread back.
I will tell you, and that's
And the
one of
gumbo. I
places-
got Leon's gumbo. Good stuff.
Just about every time I go there, I get hamburger steak
Mhm.
and gravy. But I always get my gravy over rice instead of mashed potatoes. It's not that I dislike mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
they're wonderful.
I'm-
But I get mashed potatoes and gravy, I need a nap. I get mashed potatoes and rice, I can go back to work.
Yeah.
It doesn't weigh me down as much.
Let me mention, we ate at a buffet place. It used to be a Ryan's and a Western Sizzler at one time up in Montgomery.
Montgomery.
And it was average buffet food. Okay,
Mhm.
it was average buffet food.
Yeah.
They kept it full.
Right.
They kept bringing it out. But I'm gonna tell you, that place was slam packed.
Mhm.
And you know why? I think this is a
Because
reason.
it's all you can eat.
Because the owners were so friendly.
Mm.
They were Asian people, but it was a mix of all different nationalities and races working there. But you could tell who the owners were.
Right.
And they just,
Were
how you
hands-on,
doing?
yeah.
They were hands-on, they're out there filling the buffet up. And they said, how you doing? Man, thank y'all for coming. And
Yeah.
they were just
And-
as friendly as they could be.
And that's a true owner. See,
Yeah.
there's this thing that in this industry, the restaurant industry, when people go, I own a restaurant. I'm
Yeah.
a restaurant owner. Oh, you are? Oh, that must get tiring. Oh, no, I have people that run it for me. Well, you're not a restaurant owner then.
Yeah,
An owner is in the restaurants 40 hours or more a week.
right.
Anyone that that hires other people to run it for you, you're not an owner, you're just an investor. So pipe down, sit down, let the experts do what they're doing.
I wanted to follow up on something Mike was just saying, but every time I do, you guys say, there you go, promoting another Fern restaurant. Sometimes I don't know if they're Fern or not. But
Well, Fern Lobby? Fern Lobby?
Yeah.
Fern bars.
Because we really do like to go to New China Doll at Pine Brook Shopping Center.
That's local.
And
Local.
their service is
Well,
second to none.
well-
I mean, it's great.
Even the other employees there that were out there on the floor bringing you silverware, filling you, they were just as the friendliest people you could ever ask for.
And their English may
And-
not be great, but
and
they
I'm
get
going-
it done.
Well, neither is Mike's.
Well, that's true.
I make up my own words.
And he's on the radio, we know. And he's on the radio.
He owns a George W. Bush thesaurus.
That's
Hey,
the one with the
I can
blank
hear Phil
pages.
laughing over here.
Oh, that was a good one.
It's like
Yeah.
the wit and wisdom of Jerry Ford. remember
Yeah,
that?
see, he understood. I didn't know what you were talking about. But hey, I do want to give a big shout out to a fundraiser. There were a bunch of fundraisers yesterday.
Okay.
Panini Pete's, you know, they had their at Seafood Shed. They had the pancake dinner, breakfast. I wish I
Breakfast.
could have gone to that, but I had to go.
Breakfast.
I had to go to Montgomery for the.
I had to sleep in.
Okay, and then, but out at Cowboys and Angels, they raised over $4,000 for Officer Sean Tudor, with car washes, dinners, and donations. Over and they did that for the officer last year, Bella. They raised a bunch of money for him. But there's also another one coming up, I think, at Magnolia Manor downtown on one night coming up. We'll post it on Facebook.
Google it, y'all. Google it.
We'll look on Facebook, and then but they're going to do another fundraiser for the Tudor family, and I'm going to say they didn't deserve to lose their father, their husband, their family member.
And you can't have too many fundraisers because here's a young man, prime of life, breadwinner for his family, gone.
Yeah, and here's a young mother, a young wife, you know, who's lost her husband, and the baby's lost her dad, and
you know, those things always affect me on a personal level because my family spent 36 years dreading that phone call.
yeah.
You know,
I know your dad in law enforcement.
Right,
Yes.
and at one point, half the family was in it. My brother was a deputy sheriff for a couple of years, and both my sister-in-law was a dispatcher for Mobile City, and her mother was a dispatcher for Mobile City. So, you know, you remember back in the early 70s when deputies David Beck and John Stoltz.
Yeah, I remember that.
And my dad and my brother were in on that manhunt, and I just remember as a kid, you know, we're seeing these friends of ours, you know, dying on TV.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law go, oh my gosh, that's David,
It's
that's
surreal.
John.
It's surreal.
All right, and we're sitting there, and all I'm thinking is, Mary, you don't have to worry about Steve. Daddy's there.
Yeah.
Nothing can happen if my dad is there, you know, and you know, and I'm 5 years old at this time. And granted, nothing happened to Steve.
I was working at Del Champs there at Pine Brook
Yeah.
when that happened. Because I always thought it was hundreds of police cars going west.
Yeah, but
So-
at age 5, that entire scenario was delivered to me, that this
Yeah.
could be us seeing
Exactly.
my dad or my brother on TV.
Exactly.
One day. And
Yes.
like I say, part of it was he was mean as a rattlesnake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it came to dealing with nefarious people.
Oh yeah.
And but he never
There's a
once
word I've never used before.
people.
Nefarious.
Oh, okay.
But you were too young to understand that it could have happened to your dad.
No, that was the beginning of realizing this could be Daddy or Steve.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And well, could be Steve.
By the way, guys, I had misplaced all my time cards, so we're well past our time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But Mike, you wanted to
I
talk
did-
about an anniversary.
I did want to talk about an anniversary today. Today is the 60th anniversary of when the Big Bopper, Buddy Holly,
Ricky
and
Valens.
Ricky Valens died. The day the music died, and somebody wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
And it should be playing any moment now.
We're professionals here, folks, believe it or not.
How that music used to make me
We need to play the real version of this song. We need to play the real version of this song because it got rewritten with much better lyrics. By
Well,
Will
now
Howard
play
Yankee
something
Band.
with less lyrics.
Philip,
We're not.
it's fantastic.
Oh, Well, who sang
Have
it?
you heard
Did
Weird
you
Al's
sing it?
take on this? That's about Anakin Skywalker.
No.
My, this here Anakin guy
Oh, yeah.
just will be Vader someday later, but today is small fry.
Yeah, I've heard
I'm
that.
gonna take it to the chorus.
Heather knows every word of it. When this comes on, she sings out Weird Al Yankovic.
Awesome.
Something touched me deep inside today.
Kevin Nancy told me that.
He's alive still?
Yeah. His memory's coming back to Mobile. He comes back like twice a year. To the songwriters things, you know. And, but he told me in Trinity's one day, he says, "Oh, this song is about President Kennedy died." I said, "No, it's not." He's talking about the widow bride. I said, "No, he's talking about Ricky Valens' wife that died." But if you, there is a YouTube version of this, and it shows how it come about the lyrics for
A
the
fun
song. It's
Cabernet
got Bob
is a
Dylan
dream,
in there. It's
but
got
not all
a
drinks
bunch of
are
different
fine wine. A
people.
luxury sedan is a
I wanna
car.
rewrite
Really
this
long
Cars are
song.
luxury
The
sedans.
song takes longer to play
Not all
than
books
the
are
plane
literature.
crash took
Legacy
that.
Oaks at
I know.
Spring Hill is an apartment home.
Let's see,
But most
I wanna rewrite this
Don
Don
McLean.
Legacy Oaks.
Did Don McLean do the original?
Yeah, he wrote it.
Weird Al Yankovic did the good
Secluded,
version.
yet convenient to so much. A
Yeah.
community that will change.
Weird Al
how
did
you
a
feel
serious
about homes in
song?
Mobile.
Oh, no. He
Spacious
redid it
floor
to
plan,
talk about
attached garage,
Anakin
large
Skywalker,
kitchen,
who grew up to be
plus
Darth
roomy
Vader.
bathrooms featuring
Huh.
jacuzzi
My
tubs,
mind, this here
all
Anakin
inside
guy
a
may
large
be
gay
late
campus
Vader
in the
someday
middle of
later,
Mobile,
but today
complete
he's a
with
small
amenities
fry.
like pool, fitness facility, clubhouse, outdoor entertainment area,
I
and
found
lots
your,
of green space.
it was two
Close to
pieces
shop
you
and
sent me,
dining.
right?
Yeah, just one is all we need to play in the third
1, 2,
segment.
and 3 bedrooms
Okay.
available.
Well, I've got 'em up. I just gotta-
Yeah, they're each about 6 minutes, and I figure we'll use those to fill in
I can-
holes when
I
I
can
don't
put
have
'em
it.
Peru and
I
college
can
just off
stick them
Dolphin
together,
Street,
make one
Mobile.
piece if you want.
It would be almost 13 minutes long. I want to use them over 2 different weeks.
A duel.
Oh, okay.
Just one-on-one. And Butch Cassidy.
So we'll play one in the third segment today, and the other one we'll
Just
stash it with.
you.
All right, I'll put it in the liners, but you need to
Butch Burger.
write yourself a note to remind me to,
Lettuce,
to
tomato,
remind
onion, and pickles,
Mike to
or
remind
just
me.
the way you like it. It's time for a showdown.
Remind somebody.
Butch Cassidy's Old Shell and
Stand out here in front of the parking lot with a sign.
Weimar, the best in sports talk. Call of the day.
Randy is
I still like my wife's T-shirt with the Mexican in the
David knows that we all said they need to have one game.
in the cotton.
Alabama.
What the hell?
The
The hammer saying I will not work for anything.
They go back to Georgia.
Randy, you realize that could be
I
your
said, be
team.
careful what parts of town you wear
Sports you
that.
love to talk about. Weekday afternoons at 2 with Paul Feinbaum on FM Talk 106.5.
End of the conversation.
To get on the line,
Hey, we're
call
back.
343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Hey, this is Chef Dan Navarre with the South Baldwin Center for Technology, and you're listening to Sip and Chew.
That is a pork-centric chef right there.
Who?
Dan Navarro.
Yes.
Pork-centric?
Yeah, that man loves him some pig.
Mm-hmm.
He's the chef that turned me on to that El Patio in Loxley. Great little Mexican restaurant on the right after you get off the interstate near
Oh, yeah.
near where Burris's farm was and will soon be
It is.
relocated.
No, it's already
It's
there.
reopened.
Yeah, it's reopened.
I hadn't been there in a while, so.
Mhm.
But yeah, that little Mexican restaurant is the place to eat. In
An old
Loxley.
7-Eleven building.
Yeah, it is terrific. But,
Ain't been there yet.
yeah, but Dan is real deal. His Hispanic origin is front and center, starting with his last name, Navarro. But he had told me, they're doing some real deal stuff. There's some genuine food you would find in the interior of Mexico, not stuff you would find at a Tex-Mex.
I know a lot of
Which is
them-
still a great cuisine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy them both, but I really do enjoy someone that does the authentic Mexican, because it's different than what most of us think of as Mexican.
I think Los Rancheros, when they first came to Mobile, people had a hard time grasping them because they were so used to El Chicos.
Yeah, El Cheapo.
Yeah, and so it really took them a while for people to say, that's real stuff there. You're eating that Americanized stuff over there in a chain
actually,
restaurant.
Los Rancheros is still Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you got to Americanize it for people to come.
Right,
in
but
and
it's
support it.
it's funny. Mexican food is broken up into several categories. There's authentic Mexican. There's the Mexican that we consider Mexican. Don't blow up, Mike.
I look like a oogie dog.
That most people in America consider authentic Mexican,
Yeah.
which is actually Tex-Mex. Los Rancheros, Aztecas, they do wonderful examples of Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
And I like Tex-Mex.
Yeah, I do too. I really enjoy it. Look, and it's American food.
And when I've been to
Because
Mexico,
it comes from Texas.
and
not
when I've been to
Mexican.
Mexico, it don't taste anything like it
Right
does here.
Right, and I love the authentic Mexican stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Part of Texas is just like Mexico.
Most of Texas was Mexico.
True.
All of Texas. was
Before it became its own country.
Yes, the Republic of Texas. But the categories continue. We've got authentic Mexican, then the Tex-Mex that Americans consider authentic, which is actually Tex-Mex. Then there's the chain version of Tex-Mex. That would be your chilies, stuff like that, which isn't Tex-Mex at all. That's actually pushed over into what's called Gringo Mex, where it's more American than it is Latino.
Just throw some peppers in there and call it Mexican.
Well, if there's yellow cheese, it's not Mexican food.
Right.
There's no yellow cheese in Mexico for the most part. If there's crunchy tortillas, it's probably not Mexican food.
So what do they put on their hamburgers?
Avocado.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
On the Caribbean side of Cozumel Island, away from San Miguel, I think that's the name of the town. Never can remember the city name, but anyhow, on the other side where the locals go to beach on Sunday when the cruise ships don't show up, there's a Senor Iguanas over there, and that's got to be pretty much authentic Mexican food because it's locals that eat over there, and it's surprising to me it was not very spicy at all.
No, that depends on what region you're in Mexico as to how prevalent chilies are in the food. It's just like in Chicago, they don't use a lot of cayenne pepper. But here along the Gulf Coast, where cayennes grow naturally, we use a lot of cayenne pepper.
We like to heat it up.
Right, and Mexico is no different. Each region, the state of Mexico that I'm really fascinated with, that I want to travel to, is Oaxaca. You would not pronounce it that way if you saw it spelled, because the first letter is an O. But that is where we're familiar with the phrase mole. And the only mole that most Americans know is guacamole, the green one. But a mole is a type of sauce made by pressing dried chilies and seeds and stuff together with some oil. And, you know, the more popular mole, when people see chicken mole on a menu, it's made with dark, unsweetened chocolate, along with the peppers and stuff. And then the other sauces that they have in that region are called pepians, and I may be pronouncing that incorrectly. The base of those is roasted pumpkin seeds, ground into a paste, and then they add the seeds in. And in Oaxaca alone, there are probably 20 different moles and a dozen or 2 dozen pepians.
So the guacamole is avocado?
Yes, it's yeah. And mole, it's going to predate Colombian America. The name is probably going to be Aztec or Mayan in origin, or one of the other native tribes there. It means like a mixture, I believe. But I mean, Oaxaca is hardcore. The other thing that Oaxaca has is that's where you'll find the market with all of the insects to eat. Fried grasshoppers and ants.
Love me some bugs.
I see that crickets are coming back.
Yeah, but the main thing about Oaxaca, the band.
No,
Buddy Holly.
No, the gourmet version.
In less than 100 years, folks, the majority of human beings on this planet will get their protein from insects.
You heard it here.
Whether you care or not. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be able to produce enough cow, chicken, and pig to feed every human on the planet in 100 years.
Unless
we are
we have less
wasting
babies.
every penny of money we put into research trying to extend life is wasted money if we can't get off this rock and occupy another one. We're already saturated with human beings.
I had a conservation professor at Southern Miss, brought in the chocolate-covered ants and the fried grasshopper bodies, and believe it or not, about half of the class, I wasn't in that half, actually tasted them. I just couldn't bring myself at that tender age to eat a grasshopper.
If I go someplace that's part of the culture, there are parts of Asia that eat insects as well. Termites are very popular in parts of Africa, very nutritious.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's with someone who knows what they're doing.
Maybe that's what we need to do here, start eating termites, and so they'll quit eating our houses and stuff.
Well,
What
you
do
know
you got
what?
against
If
the
that,
bug
if that eradicates every problem. Oh, I left out one category Mexican, by the way.
What's that?
And that it's very American, but it's very spirited. That's Southwestern cuisine, which takes influence from the chilies and stuff in Mexico, but also uses a lot of the wild game found in the Southwest.
And they don't claim to be Mexican.
No, they don't. It is Southwestern cuisine, but you cannot negate the Mexican influence on Southwestern cuisine.
So does Moe's have that, the Southwest Grill?
No. They
They're
don't
still
serve
doing
any
Tex-Mex.
They don't serve any. They serve Gringo Mex.
Oh, okay.
That is what that is. When everything tastes the same, but just has a different shape. You know, Moe's, and you know, we all know, welcome to Moe's. That's annoying. People need to stop doing the welcome and screaming it when people walk in a restaurant because it makes me want to leave.
Yeah, I want to sneak in without notice.
Yeah, but
A stealth customer?
yeah,
That's it.
their food is very indicative of everything here tastes exactly the same. But we can turn it into tacos, nachos, or a burrito, which is your preference. But it all tastes the same.
I had my first fish tacos about a month ago, and surprised, it was great.
Oh, they're fantastic. Mike loves it when people do tacos on Studio TV. He loves it.
Burn down. Hey,
Yeah.
what's the origins of Sloppy Joe's?
I don't
They
know.
did a gourmet Sloppy Joe last night on Triple D.
Can
I
there
did
be
one at
such a
Morris Hill.
thing?
Oh yeah.
A gourmet sloppy?
Oh yeah. Start out with ground venison.
Well, it looked like at first this guy was making bolognese.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's putting everything in there and you putting bolognese.
And then what? Added some brown sugar or something.
Yeah, ketchup and tomato paste.
Yeah.
Next time I make, I'm gonna do.
That's pretty
less
much
brown
what a
sugar
sloppy
and
Joe
tomato.
is
I
ketchup
love-
and tomato paste.
I love Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe. I love 'em.
I can see why one of us was a professional musician and the other one is you.
wasn't. Well, Charlie told me I hit pitch perfect sometimes.
No, he said you can't carry a tune in a bucket. That was what he said.
Or a
But
pail
I
or a
could see
coffee
where you
cup.
would confuse the two.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah. Hey, you know what we're doing in the next segment?
What?
You and I are taking a nap.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to play some audio that we got from World Food Championships.
Okay.
How does that sound?
And then that next segment we're gonna do.
We can do
talk
it in the
about
same
local.
segment. We can do it in the same segment.
Y'all
Okay.
quit talking now?
Yeah, we'll shut up now. Sorry, Charlie.
Chicken, ice cream, fish.
Yeah, it's only 6 minutes on that first audio, Charlie. so-
All right, well, I got them both open. You can tell me which one. Just a second. Let me get a
Yeah, whatever one's first.
spot.
That's good stuff right there.
Chicken, I like fish.
Lotion with the aloe vera in it.
Ice cream,
That's good stuff.
I use it all the time.
this.
Well, during the winter,
Juice.
everything,
I
That's because
don't
cuticles are quicks.
yeah, the humidity bleeds skins used to have a 98% moisture on it all the time. Oh, gosh.
My legs are the worst.
Oh, my hands were cracked.
Hey, Stu?
Yeah, sir.
I got the red dirt challenge or the beef jerky jelly press. Or jelly pies.
We'll go red dirt challenge since it's first.
Okay.
70 degrees.
I'll put both of them in the liner thing though, so we can find them.
Yeah. We'll play that other one in a week or so.
Okay. Hey, this is Stu at World Food Championships, and
Passing through, you can get a
Bob's
great
will come back
breakfast
in.
or
We've got another Bob's
lunch
commercial
downtown
coming back in.
diner, 263 St. Francis, a block north of Cathedral Square.
You want to just go into your interview or you want to talk to
Serving
them?
good old-fashioned Americana
I was
food.
just asking you about the commercial, and here it is.
Oh yeah, we're running 3 of them
Online
per
at
show.
corner
No, I'll set it up for about a minute.
You're gonna love
Because you
Bob's
introduced
downtown
yourself on
diner.
the thing.
Yeah.
That's a promise.
I do it at the beginning of each one of those minute-and-a-half interviews too.
Yeah.
Except where I am.
Your retirement strategy to make sure you're prepared. Listen to the Retirement Peace Roadmap radio
Or
show.
I can go,
Sunday
I
afternoon
can
at 2, here
start
on
right
FM
after you
Talk
say who you are on the
1065.
tape.
You owe over 10,000.
Just do that, if you're gonna set it up.
okay. Hey, this is Stu at World Food Championships, and okay. Hey, this is Stu at World Food Championships, and we are here in the heart of Dixie.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, this is Stu at World Food Championships, and we are here.
Damn it, come on.
Hey, this is Stu at World Food Championships, and we are here.
No, that ain't
Yeah,
right.
just go ahead and play the lead.
Hey, this is Stu at World Food
I meant to
Championships.
take that out.
Wait until another tax
I'm just-
season
I'm
ends.
picking up
and
when you
another
say
year of
we're
penalties
here.
and interest are
Yeah.
added to your balance. If you owe at least $10,000
Unless you
to
just
the
like being
IRS and
introduced
need a
twice.
new start on your
This
back
is
taxes, call 1-800-266-1432.
Probably
That's
Bill.
1-800-266-1432. Let the professionals at
If we
Coast
could
One
get a
Financial
call,
Group
say it
fight
ain't
to get
so.
you
No,
the
they're
new
gone.
start you deserve. Again, that's 1-800-266-1432.
They're two old Marines with
Last
just
spot.
a little bit to
You got
say.
Adam Metcalf?
The question is, have the VSOs become part of the system?
What,
Have they
Phil,
forgotten
what?
they're supposed to advocate for the veterans and not
Apparently,
advocate
Dominic
that
Dean's
responsibility?
kids are such a fan of that.
Who was that on the phone,
He played it
Phil?
over and over again, and supposedly he accidentally started to sing that song instead of his own song on stage.
Who was that on the phone?
Oh, that was Thomas. You know, he just his segment is pre-recorded already.
To get on the line, call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Hey, this is Patty from the warehouse, and you're listening to the
February 10th, she'll be here.
She'll be here. Hey,
Yeah.
we want to mention again that our sponsors, and we're here because of our sponsors.
Yes, we are.
Bob's Diner down at the corner of Fat and Happy.
Yeah.
And all those folks, they're not all fat, but they're happy.
Yeah.
It's actually St. Francis at Jackson Street.
Yes, it is.
And if you want to be all technical,
You know, I'm gonna tell you what. Downtown is booming with construction right now,
Mhm.
and I wish they'd hurry up.
I got a nail in my tire to prove it.
I wish they'd hurry up and finish St. Louis Street, because I'm having to go around big old holes and ditches are digging to put all that technical new stuff in. But it's real modernized getting down there right now.
Yeah.
I can't
And
talk.
if you haven't been downtown in a while, it's hard to remember which way the one-way streets go.
That's because they've changed half of them.
Yeah.
Remember, Royal Street is a two-way street now. For 50 years, it was a one-way street.
The number of them have changed to two-way streets now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
St.
wish
Francis was one-way for
I wish they'd
longest
bring
time.
the brick streets back.
Well, St. Francis
Oh, I love
is
the brick
one-way westbound now, so if you're going to Bob's Diner,
Yeah, it's
next
two-way
time we
there.
go, we're going up by Seville Square, get on St. Francis and go up.
Going
2
all the way to
blocks.
Pensacola?
And
Seville
I
Square.
keep doing that. They need
Yeah,
to
Seville
rename
on
our square, Seville.
No, we're French.
Oh, that's
And they're not.
They're
We're
Spanish.
French and they're not.
Seville is French, isn't it?
No,
No, it's not Spanish.
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 Espanol.
Well, back in November, Mike and I had the pleasure of hanging out down at Orange Beach at the wharf at the World Food Championships.
Yes.
And we did the show live from there.
Mm-hmm.
I was there.
Mhm.
Then we did an extended Facebook Live
Yeah.
after the show where I went around and interviewed some people. We've got some more interviews, in-depth interviews. We're going to play that I recorded just the audio to, and Charlotte's going to pull that up. But this is just me walking around the tasting village at World Food Championships, talking to people that I saw.
In the
It
heart
re-queued itself.
in Orange Beach,
You don't want to listen to this
talk
one.
to Dixie Dirt. Take it away. What is Dixie Dirt?
Well, Dixie Dirt is all-purpose seasoning. Formulated when I first invented it and formulated it just to mainly cook Boston butts. And a lot of
Mine's
people
a little over
ask me
6
what I put
minutes.
on my
Yeah.
butts, and I just say, well, it's just a seasoning blend that I made. And and then someone told me one day, they said, well, it looks like you dropped it in the dirt. And it just sort of, bing, a little bell went off. I said, well, there's my name right there, Dixie Dirt, because it looked like it had been dropped in the dirt. Where we're from in South Alabama, it's almost a red clay looking dirt, and our Dixie Dirt seasoning looks a lot like the dirt at home. So,
All right, and what makes it stand out? What is your...
They've all the networks have done it.
it makes
They roll out about
everything. I
one
mean,
a
we
year.
use it on everything, and I know everybody
It's
says
like David
that,
Holloway's how
we
to
use it
season the cast iron
like
skillet.
say, on pork.
Every year.
We
put
use
it
it
out.
on steak. I cooked the best prime rib I have ever tasted the other day. I cooked brisket with it. I cooked shrimp with it. I cooked fish with it. We cooked deer with it. We cooked duck with it. We cooked quail. We seasoned vegetables with it. Little red potatoes cubed
Here's
up.
the thing about all
with
these
Dixie dirt
seasoning
and olive
blends that
oil,
people
roasted
come
in the
out with.
oven. You
They all
it won't
work.
get any better than that right there.
And that's what I just tasted on the cracker.
Just that cheese, I'm really enjoying it. That little girl put the perfect amount of cinnamon in it.
Fantastic
And,
stuff.
It's
And
really
if somebody
good.
wants to get a hold of this, where can they go?
Get it right
You know,
now online
I think we
down
both
this
get a
area.
bunch of those
It would be online. It's
seasoning salts for
DixieDirtRub.com.
That's easy to
That
remember.
cheese
You
is the
are
best one
going to
I've
be
had so
available
far. I
on
like it better
Amazon or something like that
beans.
soon.
Well, hopefully, we're trying to. We're working steadily working that way. We're in a few grocery stores, back around home. We're from Andalusia.
That's what I was about to ask.
And, we're from Andalusia, and we're in.
There's a little bit of barbecue up in that area.
Yeah, there is. And like I say, we in a few independent type grocery stores and a few of the people.
There's two more people.
Places like that. So gift stores, meat markets. We've got them scattered all over kind of the southeast a little bit like that. So.
All right. Well, thanks for representing
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, this is Stuart of the World Food Championships in Orange Beach, Alabama, and I am here with one of my favorite products, Red Gold tomatoes. And we're just going to talk a little bit.
You have a lot of different tomatoes here.
Yes, we do. That's all we do, tomatoes. We don't do anything else. That's what we're good at, and that's what we've done for 75 years.
75 years doing tomatoes.
Yes, sir.
Outstanding.
Fourth generation family-owned, family-grown company.
And that's why it's so good. I mean, this is one of the premium tomato canners in the world, in my opinion. I love using Red Gold.
Thank you. We think so too. What's unique about us is that we actually know the growers who grow our products. We've worked with some of them for as many generations as we've been around. So fourth generation family farms with a fourth generation family ran company. Not a lot of people can say that.
Exactly.
You see people talk about
6 seconds out, I'll make the mic hot
We
again.
really know them on a personal basis and have worked with many of them for years and years.
Well, you've got a great product. And do you know how many different tomato products you have?
Oh my goodness, it would
You've gotten a lot better at interviews over the years.
Especially when you get
It
into
comes
the
with the
dice
territory,
products,
don't
you
it?
can run anything from the flavored dice to the regular dice. We have the no salt dice. We've got them in the different sizes. We've got the dice with green chilies in the 10 ounce and 14 and a half ounce. So we've just got pretty much every flavor you want. My favorite is the lime and cilantro. Green chilies, it's delicious out of the can over tacos. It's my favorite product.
All right, and if anybody wants to learn more about Red Gold tomatoes, where can they go?
RedGoldTomatoes.com.
And y'all, I believe y'all have a Facebook page, and I think you have an Instagram, and I think you have a Twitter, and I think I follow everyone.
Red Gold Tomatoes on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube,
Get some of that Dixie Dirt, like that Dixie Dirt.
Yeah, all of them.
All right, fantastic. And
No, I didn't.
Hey, this is Stu. We're at World Food Championships. I'm about to talk with the good folks at Challenge Butter. I love their butter. So let's hear all about it.
Thanks so much, Stu. We are incredibly excited to be back at the World Food Championships. We are the official butter of the World Food Championships. And many people don't know, we're actually a co-op of 400 family-owned dairies out of California. We're a century old, and we just were chosen by Cook's Illustrated magazine as the #1 unsalted butter in America.
And what's great is you have a salted that I
When
saw.
we come back, you're going to have about 5
several
minutes.
pounds of that yesterday. And she's a salted butter person. I'm an unsalted, and I think that one's going to go right down the middle of it.
Well, I mean, the nice thing about our butter is it's lightly salted, but we're very exact in our measurements. So we've got a quarter of a teaspoon of salt in each stick
No,
of
you
butter.
won't
That's what
either.
you'll find. So you can take that
I
away
will
from
take us
whatever
to the
you're
break.
cooking, or if you like
Why don't we
your
just go to the break
sweet,
if there's no
savory,
time to talk?
It's just
Okay.
the perfect amount.
All right, and the butter is fantastic. I know
Do
we
you-
have it.
do you do a wrap on the end of it?
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
else
okay.
do we look for Challenge Butter if we can't find it in our grocery store?
No, I can bring the mic on. I can delay the
Should
button.
be carrying it. If you don't see it in the dairy case, tell the store manager that you'd like them to carry Challenge Butter, and we'll do our best to make it happen.
All right, and do y'all have a website if people want to learn more about it?
Absolutely. So challengedairy.com. There's also a store locator within
All
our
right,
website.
we're coming up to the end.
You can also follow us on Facebook, Challenge Butter.
How long we gonna have,
No,
Charlie?
you're going to have 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Over 1 million fans.
Mics are hot.
Unless you're
Now, when I went by, our good friend Brittany Furby, who was on the show, was doing some demonstrations with him. But that young lady won Heather's heart by simply having fresh bread with butter on it.
Can you get those tomatoes and butter here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just about, in fact, I'll tell you, Red Gold actually cans the tomatoes for Walmart's Great Value tomatoes.
No kidding.
Yeah, they do the canning for it. But yeah, Challenge Butter is at Winn-Dixie for sure.
Yeah, that's where I found it.
Rouse's,
I put one in the tub. Now, Rouse's has it in the sticks.
That's what I
not
like.
the tub.
Yeah.
And I found the tub at Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, I just use sticks.
I use mine sparingly.
Is the tub butter fluffed up a little bit? Because it seems
it's
to me
whipped with air.
It's easier to spread.
Yeah, it is. If you've ever seen anyone make cookies, Charlie, they let the butter sit out for a while, then they put it in a mixer and mix the butter up, and they'll add like sugar and stuff to it. That's called creaming the butter, and what you're doing is whipping air into it to make it lighter and easier to spread. And that's just what they do for those whipped butters.
Oh, okay.
It's the same process.
In
Learned
France,
something new today.
In France,
where they talk Frenchy talk?
Bread and butter on every table all the time. And the butter's kind of sweet tasting.
Yeah.
It's smooth, it's real spreadable. It's pure butter. It's almost like a cream.
It's also at room temperature too.
Yeah, and
which is
see,
really where butter should be.
I can't stand when you're in a restaurant and they bring you out hard, cold butter.
But you've got to.
And
That's
the
because
food.
they're uncaring.
No, because the restaurant industry is the most over-regulated industry in the country, and most of the regulation does absolutely nothing for the customer.
Absolutely.
And it's, they just, have you noticed ketchup bottles say refrigerate after opening? There is no reason whatsoever to ever refrigerate ketchup. It should never happen.
To be honest with you, I hardly eat ketchup anymore. I really don't.
Well, Heather doesn't like it, and so I don't use it on very much. In most cases where I would eat, most people eat ketchup, like with French fries. The only reason I put ketchup on French fries is because French fries are cold and nasty. A well-cooked French fry needs nothing. But if I got a barbecue sauce, I will dip my French fries in barbecue.
I know people who do that.
Yeah, it's just what ketchup should have been, is what barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
You know a little bit about barbecue sauce.
A bit.
Yeah.
A bit. Yeah.
Well, we got one more segment coming up. What do you got planned? Because I know you've got little notes you've been scribbling down there in your hieroglyphics.
We want to talk about local and the definition of local and supporting local and being local.
We're loco about being local.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are local.
But are you local?
Yeah. Are you local enough?
Are you faux local?
Focal.
Focal.
Focal. There you go. Faux local. Speaking of faux things, there's a fake Super Bowl on tonight. Neither one of us is watching it.
I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I have skipped every article that has come up in my social media this week about what to eat at your Super Bowl party, because there's not one.
Hey, wait a minute. Tell them about the new Mardi Gras throws
the
in
beads
New Orleans.
some of the beads they have in New Orleans they're black beads with little yellow flags on the end of them.
Yeah, that should have been thrown.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Roger Goodell's going to prison. I mean, I've been saying it since he went in. He will be the first major sports commissioner to leave office and go to prison, federal prison, and I think that's what he's headed.
And not to start a whole new debate, but I'm wondering what role, if any, legalized betting may have played in that.
I will tell you,
I really don't.
The reason that Vegas still gives odds on the NFL, my personal theory, because if you notice, Vegas has never done odds on wrestling, and that's how you know it's fixed. The only reason they're still giving odds on the NFL is and the NBA is because they're trying to lure a team to their city. And I think, honestly, if they weren't trying to get that, they wouldn't offer odds, because it's scripted.
3430106. You can call us or text them. Somebody call us.
Or don't. We don't care.
Yeah, just text us.
I'm satisfied with my self-love.
We're not caller driven. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we are.
But we are nominated for a Taste Award.
Heck yeah. Do you have to shout, Mike? Do you have to?
I did.
Woo!
He's proud. Transmitter just went off.
I want a belt. I want a wrestling belt.
A Western belt?
Yeah. I don't want trophies. I want wrestling belts.
A wrestling belt. I thought you said a Western belt. I'm like,
a wrestling
belt.
I'm gonna trade if we win that award, I'm gonna trade my medal in for a wrestling belt.
What's Mardi Gras?
started in Mobile, or was it in New Orleans? Was it started by the pagans or the Christian church?
Oh, good. We're gonna
or
get a
by
moon 5
Confederate
minutes for
soldiers
Brent.
after the Civil War? I'm Rennie Grabner. We'll examine the arguments for each in today's Moon Pie Minute.
I think I'll mention
Moon
on
Pie
that.
Minute brought to you by
I am
DK
helping out a writer
Purchase
for
red tails for the
trivia
balls. For all your fine
corporation
menswear and
that
Mardi
does
Gras formal needs, come by D&K on the Beltline
lots
today.
of the major
And let the
newspapers,
good times
Reindeer,
roll.
Sentinel,
Before
Chicago
the twin boys,
Herald,
Romulus and
Chicago
Remus, were
Tribune,
raised by a
LA
she-wolf,
Tribune,
people near where Rome is today
on an article on
celebrated
how
in
to throw a Mardi
Lupercalia,
Gras.
a spring fertility rite on February the 15th, known for feasting and debauchery. The early Christian church tried to replace Lupercalia with a feast of St. Valentine.
I gotta write 2 lines.
Anybody on the tie line?
1600s, the French were preparing for the penance
Yeah,
Lent
I'll
season
text
before
him.
Easter, with feasting, drinking, and dancing.
I told
When
him
the
to call
French
us
came to
back.
the Gold Coast, they brought the
Don't
idea of
text
Mardi
him,
Gras
should
with
call
them.
him. It's gonna be
On
fun
Mardi
if he has
Gras
to
in
do it on
1699,
cell
some
phone.
recordings indicate they feasted and
Oh, yeah.
partied downriver from modern New Orleans at a place they called Mardi Gras
I just
Point.
decided to
4
grab
years
it all
later,
in one.
Mardi Gras 1703, there are some indications that the newly
You had
arrived
no
French
idea my
settlers
birthday was that
celebrated their
weekend.
first
Oh,
Mardi
they
Gras
did.
in Mobile.
Mary
Mobile
celebrated
claims
your
another
birthday.
feast for the next year. New Orleans claims a parade 10 years later. All settled? Well,
After
we'll
25
have
and our
more. I'm Rennie
insurance
Bradner.
drops,
Check
we
our
don't care.
podcast on our website, fmtalk1065.com, and check for parade
That
routes
is
too.
just
Mardi Gras is here, and
ladies in the
D&K
office
Suit
bring
Discounters has
hot
everything you need to party in style. Tux and
So
tail rentals,
we have
sizes
our-
34 to 70 start as low as $69.95. Own a Tux from $89
Yeah,
and tails from
yeah.
$99. Or get your costume to rigger package, including tails, PK shirt, vest, and bow tie for $169.95.
Yes.
Plus a full
All
line
right,
of
I
general
said
accessories,
it. Randy
including
at
Tux
Tech
shoes,
said
vests,
Bill's
bow
on
ties,
the
cummerbunds,
line,
and
don't
coupling
try
and
to
stud
log
sets.
on.
For all
That's
your
where,
promo and fine menswear
I will
needs,
be
shop
working
D&K on the
starting
Beltline today, 665-7350, or online at
Slinging pieces.
dnkmobile.com.
I used to.
My caretaker was very rough with me,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
thought
I
they
came in
did
and-
because I wasn't
You
moving
go,
fast enough.
well, let me
My
see
son
you
was
stretch
supposed to help
out.
take
I'll
care of
show
me.
you the way
He's
I've
never
done it.
around.
Doc
Elder
Murphy
abuse
went
is a
around,
crime, and
pressed
together
down,
we
slapped
can
it out.
Tell him I sent Randy the message. I'm gonna turn the tie line off and back on. He says tell him to wait about 3 minutes and try it again.
Okay, Charlie's gonna reboot the tie line right here, so wait 3 minutes and try
He
again.
is
And this station.
loosely related to
263
Stephanie
St.
and
Francis
Reggie and
along
all
North
this.
at Cathedral Square offers good old-fashioned Americana food made from scratch daily. They open early at 7 with awesome breakfast items like Big Al's breakfast, served with your choice of grilled pork chops, ham, fried fish, or country fried steak, 2 eggs, bacon, grits, and biscuit. Complete menu online at corneroffatandhappy.com. Bob's Downtown
And
Diner
next time you
opens
go down
7
and
to 3
talk
every
to
day.
Tony,
You're gonna love
tell
it,
him to
and
check
that's a
his
promise.
website, make sure he's still got all those items on his menu. Because there's some of them have gone away.
Call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Hey,
You're just gonna have to start talking.
Test.
Mike and
Okay.
Stu, that's us.
A friend of mine's having surgery Tuesday. He's having, not too far from what you're having in that area. So I want to wish Rusty, not good luck, but, you know,
Don't die.
wishes.
Don't die.
say that. Don't say that.
That's what me and my friends tell each other. All right, man, see you later, and don't die.
And the sad thing about it, yesterday started his vacation. So now he's,
Oh, nothing like
instead of
having
him going out of
surgery on your
town,
vacation.
instead of going out of town, he's in the hospital. And poor thing, I hate him for him. I really do.
Did he
Great
get
guy.
medical leave?
Great. I don't know. I guess he does. But Rusty's a good guy. He's in the wine business. He lives over in Pensacola.
Good luck, Rusty.
But good luck, Rusty. Man, you're gonna do well. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right.
Right.
But hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You know, we talk on the radio.
We do.
A lot.
Weekly.
About a lot of things.
Yeah.
And we always end our show with support local, be local, buy local.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think people realize what that means. And, you know, in my opinion, you know, we have friends that think just cause a restaurant's here, that it's local.
Right.
And it's not.
Right.
There's somebody there's some big fat cat sitting up in an office in an ivory towers in some big city.
And honestly, doesn't know the first thing about running a restaurant.
And doesn't know a single thing about the Mobile or Gulf Coast area.
Yep.
So,
but they're getting 70 cents out of every dollar Mobile you spend at the restaurant.
and to buy their yachts with and their vacation homes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Their ivory towers.
and not putting a dime of that back into the Mobile economy.
Well,
And,
actually, they're putting 3 dimes back in the Mobile economy.
Yeah.
They're taking 7 dimes out.
Yeah. But, you know, there's another version of supporting local too.
Oh yeah, it's got to go the next level.
Yeah, and
if you are touting yourself as a locally owned establishment, and you tell people shop local, you better be doing it too.
As much as you can.
Right, as much as possible. And that's the thing, folks. Nothing can be totally. There's no such thing as a restaurant that's totally organic.
Right.
Unless it's in California where all the organic stuff is grown.
Absolutely.
Because once you put organic stuff on a train or a truck or whatever to move across the country, it's not organic anymore. And, you know, so as organic as possible, as local as possible.
Right.
But you got to make an effort, you know.
Yeah.
Just because you are a locally owned restaurant, if you're serving Vietnamese shrimp, you're not a local restaurant.
Right.
You're a Vietnamese shrimp. In this country, you're a fraud, is what you're. Yeah, if you were serving Vietnamese shrimp on the Alabama Gulf Coast, every single thing about your business plan is wrong.
Yeah.
Period. And it goes beyond that. I love that Dumbwaiter had no major beer brands in there, just local craft brews.
And you know, Chris at Noble South, you know, he was getting all his vegetables fresh daily at one point, and that just blew it. We know that you can't get everything,
right?
But I know there happens to be beef available. There happens to be poultry available.
There is Wagyu beef raised in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, there's seafood, especially seafood. Now, right now, oysters are a problem.
Right.
Right now,
from
oysters are a
Mobile
problem.
waters.
Yeah,
but the Gulf is still available.
But that's regional. So,
and
you know,
keep in mind, Mobile Bay, Baldwin County doesn't produce that many oysters, but 80% of all oysters in America are processed in Balladac.
Yeah.
So, that's something to think about.
And
because we really only have the one bay.
If you can't get local, get regional.
Right.
Or get statewide.
Yeah.
But
you know, 150 miles is the radius for local.
Yeah.
Well, 150 miles west, you're in New Orleans. 150 miles east, you're down past Apalachicola, Florida.
Yeah.
That's all our neighborhood.
That is our neighbors.
Right. And, you know, Mississippi is 20 minutes from us in one direction, and Florida is 30 minutes from us in the other direction.
Yeah.
That's local. That's our neighborhood.
That's our neighborhood.
Just because man has drawn lines on the surface of the earth to denote different political jurisdictions doesn't mean that something from Moss Point's not local.
Right.
And, you know, another thing, and you could probably speak to this more than I can. We've got a lot of paper plants on the Gulf Coast. Moss Point, you know, Magazine Point had them for years. There's no excuse not to buy paper products made on the Gulf Coast.
Are there any more being made on?
Moss Point's still a fully auger.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, you can smell.
Well, I don't know what they make. Though,
yeah.
You know.
But you know,
printer paper.
Right.
I know that it's not paper for. I know it's not paper for. For newspapers anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because
unless it's the lanyard.
Yeah.
There you go. They still print. And, but you know, businesses need to look at their inventory about, okay, where am I getting my seafood from? Who am I getting my seafood from? Right. Who am I getting my beef from? Who am I getting? You know, is this available or produced closer that I can support them?
Right.
But you know what? If a restaurant is spending money with me to buy something I'm selling,
right,
I need to be going in there and spending money with them. Support those that support you.
I'll tell you someone that's very good about that is Kevin Brooks, our buddy. He's a chef, but now he works for Hill and Brooks. He's just, when he was the same way when he was with Kelly Foods. He only patronizes in his off time the people that patronize him.
Yeah.
And as a rule. So, you know, now if he walks in and you got Red Diamond coffee, or Red Diamond tea, which is terrible tea, by the way.
It is.
I know it's an Alabama product, but not everything we do in the state is great. But Red Diamond is terrible tea.
Milo is much better.
But, you know, he's gone. You know, he's headed for the place that sells Hill and Brooks coffee. Because they're supporting that local company. And here's the thing with the Hill and Brooks. Yeah, it's a small local company. They also make the best tea and coffee you can get in a restaurant.
Right.
Anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Community is probably second behind them, and then Lipton, Louisiana, all of those. I push those way down.
Let me tell you what, John Russo was the person that taught me about, and this is a long time ago when I first got in the wine business, 32 years ago. John Russo taught me, you support those who support you.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
It's circular. That's part of being a community.
Yeah. So, because I went to a big fat yeast roll restaurant one night.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, we sell yeast rolls here. Why don't you come here and spend your money here? I spend money with you. You should be spending your money with me. And he was right.
Yeah.
And that was a valuable lesson.
And that builds our local economy. We need to keep the money in the area
as much as we can.
Yeah. Taxes are going to pull a lot out.
Yeah.
Tourism's going to pull a lot out, but it's also going to bring a lot in.
So are you saying if you're among those that are spending millions on lottery tickets and casinos that you're not supporting local?
If you win,
who spends millions on lottery tickets?
I don't know.
But clearly, someone who doesn't.
Anybody close to the Florida, Georgia, or Tennessee lines?
Oh, you mean the entire community spending millions, not an individual?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, okay, I was way
off. Well, anyway, I hope we made sense today, folks. But
if there is
thank
one
you
of
for
those,
listening.
we're friends.
Get out there and support these local businesses. Local businesses, you support local food. Support local, be local, buy local.
Tip.
Stew and tip.
Yeah. Tip.
And I hope y'all have a beautiful day. It's bowling on TV. There's some golf on TV today.
Yeah, there's really nothing on TV tonight, so we're probably just going to watch a bunch of Marvel movies.
There you go. All right, folks.
Provolone.
Binge watch.
Alrighty, my nephew's come over to spend the day with me. So, good. It's nice having time off. You got it, David. Oops, there we go. Thank you for acknowledging that,
on?
David. No, it's David Hall.
Did you see the message?
All right, we're going to go now.
I asked you to call him.
Provolone.